All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to my apostles, great millstone, peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. So, the dollar is collapsing, obviously. It's been collapsing, and you're feeling it every single day. All right? So now there's, the hard assets like gold and silver are skyrocketing.
Listen to this.
The dollar's going to collapse. The dollar's going to be replaced by gold. Central banks are buying gold.
They are. That is true.
They're getting rid of dollars. They're getting rid of treasuries. We are headed for an economic crisis, again, that will make the 2008 financial crisis look like a Sunday school picnic. The biggest difference between the crisis that we're about to have and the one we had back then is this one is all in America. It's not going to be exported to the rest of the world. It's not a global financial crisis. It's an American financial crisis.
The baby boomer asset, the metal that your grandmother loved. So what's happened? And more importantly, what does it tell you about what's coming next? What most people are going to miss, but not you, because you follow me and I'm your unfair advantage in investing. Now, it's not just silver that's exploding. It's gold, copper, platinum. Normally, you don't see all of these metals surging at the same time together like this. It tells us capital is rotating out of paper and back into the real assets, hard assets, tangible assets, things you can't print. But why? Do they see something coming? Well, yes and no, but they are reducing risk. Now, silver is one that I'm watching the closest because silver is not just another precious metal. Silver is used in advanced technologies. They need it for solar panels, 5G towers, AI data centers, and one huge thing on the horizon, quantum computation. For one simple reason, silver is the most electrically conductive metal on Earth, much more conductive than even gold. That makes it insanely hard to replace at that scale and at the price. Historically, when silver moves like this, it happens during times full of chaos, war, or economic decline. In 2007, there was a big silver surge. And again, in the late 70s, another big surge during a high inflation era. Well, today we got record debt, an increasingly fragile financial system, so it makes sense that people are starting to move back to precious metals. Now, zoom out again, this is where it gets a little bit darker. Silver is not just a precious metal, it's strategic infrastructure, deeply embedded into our military, electronics, satellites, defense systems, and AI, the backbone of modern civilization. Now, connect that to my power triad, energy, data, compute. Why is silver pumping? Because markets are positioning for the next era, where energy, data, and compute become the most valuable assets on Earth. Anything else gets repriced around it. Coming to where silver, I'll share 2 silver ETFs in a few.
All praises on the glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, so this place is crashing, man. This place is over. I'm going to close off with a scripture, give you a quick scripture on my break here at work. All right, let's go to a scripture. Let's grab James 5:1. And it reads, I'll read it in the NLT. It says, a warning to the rich. It says, look here, you rich people, weep and groan with anguish because of all the terrible troubles ahead of you. Your wealth is rotting away, and your fine clothes are moth-eating. Your your wealth is rotting away, and your fine clothes are moth-eating rags. Your gold and your silver have become worthless, right? The very wealth you are counting on will eat away your flesh like fire. This treasure you have accumulated will stand as evidence against you on the day of judgment. That's right. It says, for listen, hear the cries of the field workers whom you have cheated of their pay. And everybody in America is languishing over their pay. All right. So the dollar is crashing. This mighty dollar that they trusted in for so long. All right. And now they're trying to go back to hard assets, but China ain't having it. China cut it off. All right. Now there's a problem. War is brewing up. We're going to have to go to war. All right. We're going to have to go to war. This is the will of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It says, for listen, hear the cries of the field workers whom you have cheated of their pay. Yeah, all types of taxes, man. Inflation, all types of things are going on. It says the wages you held back cry out against you. That's right. They're crying every single day. You see videos of people in despair and crying. Hey, is America great anymore? America, what's great about this? What's great about this? That's all they're saying. It says, the cries of those who harvest your fields have reached to the ears of the Lord of heaven's armies. That's right, man. You have spent your years on the earth in luxury. Yeah, America has spent their years in luxury, satisfying your every desire. You have fattened yourselves for the day of slaughter. Woo! You have condemned and killed innocent people who do not resist you. Woo! And the Lord is coming for you, devils, man. Let me get one more. This is Ezekiel 28. And it says, I'll read it. I ain't never read it in the NLT. I like to read it in the KJV. This is Ezekiel 28. And I'll start at 1. It says, the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus. And we speaking about America these days. Same thing goes for America, man. Same thing what the scripture's going to say. Thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up. Right? Because thine heart is lifted up. Yeah, America's very proud. And thou hast said, I am God. Yep, America, these devils, Esau, Edom, they want to play God, man. All right, track your every move, listen in your conversation, act like they can control your every thought, listen to your every thought. Because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am power. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of power. That's right. You set your heart as the heart of Yahweh. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches. And thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Yeah, you're very, very proud. The Lord's about to take this place out. All right. Ain't no more of happy days. Oh, happy day. No. Ain't no happy days, man. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is set as the heart of God. Behold, therefore will I bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations. Yeah, and all America's allies and its enemies are against the allies are turning enemies. All right, they're drawing their swords against this place. The terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom. Yeah, and they shall defile thy brightness. That's right. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God? But thou shalt be a man, and no God, in the hand of him that slayeth thee. Thou shalt die the deaths of the uncircumcised in the hand of strangers, for I have spoken it, saith the Lord power. All praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Hopefully this message was edifying. Shalom.